We now jump on board with ourselves, guys, at the middle of lap 2. You can see the man who cost me everything yesterday in the feature race, Dan Ticktum. It is time to put you in your place, onto the brakes, into the middle sector chicane at the end of the first back straight. Beautiful move up the inside of Dan Ticktum.
And we're back. After yesterday's feature race, the top 8 drivers have been reversed on the grid, setting up some exciting action as we launch into today's event, the sprint race. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid.
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Hello guys, SLR Turbo 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, we're back for the next part of our round 3 F2 weekend here with the sprint race after yesterday's feature race. If you haven't checked out yesterday's video yet, make sure to go check it out. Otherwise, you're going to be a bit lost with this one. Now guys, also spoiler alert, so if you haven't checked out yesterday, go now because here come the spoilers. Yesterday we had an absolutely terrible feature race. To contact with Dan Ticktum on lap 4 ruined our race. And if you guys, I'll quickly explain why I showed my tire wear levels right there on your screen just a few seconds ago. But let's just get the race underway and then we will talk about what is currently going on and what the situation is. So, it's time to race. We need to have redemption after everything that happened yesterday. You guys know. So let's, for the final time this weekend in Abu Dhabi, let's head to 5 red lights. And let's go for the sprint race here in F2. It is Giuliano Alesi and Marcus Armstrong on the front row. ART have got a beautiful chance to take a 1-2 here today between Lundgaard and Armstrong. But Giuliano Alesi defends from Lundgaard into the first corner. Alesi gets the race lab car ahead of the ART of Lundgaard. Then you've got Schwartzman in P4, Callum Eilert and Dan Ticktum fighting over P5 and P6. That is myself right behind them in P7. Our teammate did not have the best start in the race. Jack Aitken is in P8, but Ticktum and Callum Eilert are fighting hammer and tong for this P5. Yes, P5, I nearly said P6, but it is actually P5 and P6. But obviously you want to be ahead of your rival. Here we go. Oh, a little bit of a tag saber from ourselves. They're coming out of the Yaz hairpin. It's a drag race between the Univirtuosi car and the Dams car down the back straight. Actually, Marcus Armstrong has checked out of this race already. He is already quite a good amount ahead of Giuliano Alesi in the race lab car behind him. Here we go. Eilert and Ticktum still on side by side through this corner. We are going side by side with our teammate Dragovic, who actually put us a bit under pressure heading into that little hairpin, into that chicane. But we now jump back onto my POV, and as you guys look at my start, I'm going to quickly explain what the situation is. Now that you guys that know, I made, not my fault, but there was contact yesterday between myself and Dan Ticktum where I broke my front wing in the middle of lap 4. We were then forced to pit onto a second set of soft tires. The 2 tire compounds this weekend are super softs, which are purple, and the softs, which are red. Now, with that being said, yeah. Actually, that was actually Dragovic behind Eilert and Ticktum, not myself. I didn't have as good a start as I thought. Okay, guys, sorry about that, but now you guys can see what's happening. So, now because yesterday when I pitted at the end of lap 4, for a second set of soft tires, because I started yesterday's feature race on soft tires, I had to strap on a second set of soft tires and then end the race on super softs. But unlike in F1, in F2 you've got so little amount of tires. Literally you've got enough just to finish everything the weekend. That's excluding punctures, front wing brakes, bloody fish paste, the whole shebang. So the tires I have are the tires that I started the feature race on. That's why they already have about 16-17% wear on them, because those tires were raced on for the first 4 laps of the feature race. So I'm already at a massive disadvantage for this sprint race, because I'm going to have to worry about heaps and heaps of tire wear at the end of this sprint race. So I know I've got about 10, maybe 12 laps to push like an absolutely insane person, and after that I am going to be an absolute sitting duck. So while I can scoop up a certain amount of positions at the beginning of this race, I have to do as much as possible. But that is the situation. We will see what happens as this race progresses. We are now at the end of lap 1. Armstrong leads the way from Lacey in P2. You've got Lundgaard P3, and in P4 it is Robert Schwartzman for Prema. We now jump on board with ourselves, guys, at the middle of lap 2. You can see the man who cost me everything yesterday in the feature race, Dan Ticktum. It is time to put you in your place, onto the brakes, into the middle sector chicane at the end of the first back straight. Beautiful move up the inside of Dan Ticktum. And guys, like I said at the end of yesterday's video, if you haven't watched it yet, my goal is to end ahead of Ticktum. That is my goal, and that is where I'm leaving it. We are now ahead of Ticktum, right behind Callum Eilert in the red and black Uni Virtuosi car. Into the braking zone of lap 3. You guys see these guys are braking massively early because they're trying to save their tires. Me, on the other hand, it's already lap 3, and our front's already almost, massive tank slapper there coming out of the chicane. Our front tires is already on, well, the right front just went to 25%, so you can say the fronts are on 25% and the rears are already on 20. So you guys can see I've literally got 10 laps, and then I'm going to be a sitting duck. But because of that little moments coming out of the chicane, Callum Eilert retains P5. We are still in P6 ahead of Dan Ticktum. Let's have a quick replay here, guys, off of Callum Eilert's POV. This is looking behind to myself, as you guys can see. I don't brake actually too late. It's just I realize that these guys are braking so early. If I just ease off the brake a bit, I'm going to be able to make a move. Here we go. I make a beautiful move around the outside, but as I put the power down on that outside curb, it just throws the car into a tank slapper. Luckily, I came off the power early enough and counted the car so that I don't hit straight into the wall, because that would have been the absolute worst way to end an already very, very tough weekend to swallow for myself. Now you guys can see, here's the replay of myself, and guys, look at the little lights on the steering wheel. Suddenly they are just all blinking as the car starts to spin. Right there, all of them are blinking. The car has got no traction at that very point. We nearly lose control of the car, but as soon as the car spun, guys, I let go of the throttle, counter steered, but that is already, I basically lost all my momentum. And as I rejoin the track, Callum Eilert does exceptionally well to avoid my right rear tire with his left front end plate of his front wing. So beautiful racing there from Callum Eilert, and I'm sorry that I gave him a fright, but that was obviously not on purpose. There you guys can see here we are once again right behind Callum Eilert. I've still got the pace on these guys, even though my tires are older, but I'm sure you guys can realize at this point of the video that I am pushing like an absolute stab rat. I'm throwing the entire kitchen at it, not even just the kitchen sink, the entire kitchen, because I knew as soon as these softs died off, they were going to be useless. Ooh, a little bit aggressive there with Callum Eilert. I misjudged the space that we had there, but luckily no contact whatsoever. Guys, that was not dirty. I honestly didn't realize Callum was still that close to me, because I can remember the proximity arrow within my car was not red anymore, it was white, and that usually means you can go in front of a driver. So apologies to Callum Eilert now twice from my side. But as you can see, we head to lap 7. We've set a purple first sector, and we take away P4 from Robert Schwartzman. We have got stupid amounts of pace at this stage of the race, and now we are heading after the first ART of Christian Lundgaard to see if we can actually take away a podium position here. We go around the outside of Lundgaard to the inside for the second part of the corner. It's now going to be a drag race between myself and the ART. Who's going to have DRS? We both do, thanks to Giuliano Alesi. Now we head down the backstretch. We are on the outside, and guys, this is a bit of deja vu thanks to what happened between myself and Ticktum. Don't lock up Lundgaard! Oh, okay, that was a little bit of a ish moment for myself. But we get the move done, and we are now up into P3. We now jump on board with Nikita Mazepin. Boo. Sorry, I just had to do that. I know nobody likes Mazepin anymore. Well, very few people like Nikita Mazepin still. This is Mazepin making a move on the actual real-life 2020 Formula 2 World Champion, Mick Schumacher. Mick defends beautifully into the chicane, but Mazepin is going to have the inside for the second part, and he will have DRS on this next shot. I don't think Schumi will have, and yes, I'm correct, Schumi will not have DRS. Here goes Mazepin around the outside of Schumacher, and they are also joined by Sean Gelael, who is snooping around their gearboxes, sniffing that gearbox oil, trying to figure out when to pounce. We now jump on board with Jehan Daruvala, guys, who actually in yesterday's feature race also had a lap 1 incident with Guan Yu Zhou, had to pit at the end of lap 1, and now he's going to have to make a pit stop in the sprint race due to also not having enough tires to get him to the end of the sprint race. He's going on to a second set of super softs to get him to the end of the sprint race. So that is also Jehan Daruvala finishing in P22. No questions asked. It's a sad day for poor Jehan Daruvala, as well as myself, guys, because honestly, I don't even think I'm going to make it to the end. I think those tires are going to puncture. If I have to be honest with you guys, I really think that they are going to puncture. Because as you guys can see, I've still got the pace to chase after Giuliano Alesi. He is very tight there, nearly rubbing wheels there as we head into the chicane. I can leave him more than enough space around the outside. But there you got to see, here's where we're going to get the power down. Beautiful exit. No DRS actually, which to me was really weird because I'd crossed the second DRS detection line behind Alesi. But okay, I will accept that. Up the inside of Giuliano Alesi. He keeps his nose in there. Beautiful racing here from Alesi. And Marina Sato is unfortunately retired from the session, guys. We now jump on board with the second Uni Virtuosi of Guan Yu Zhou, the Chinese driver. He is going for a move on the Japanese driver of Yuki Tsunoda. And look at Roy Nissany up the inside of Tsunoda. Will Nissany get the move done here on Tsunoda? Will Tsunoda lose not one but two positions at this stage of the race? Tsunoda defends beautifully there from Nissany, because now I know that's Nissany because Sato just retired. So, but beautiful move there between Zhou and Tsunoda. Chinese and Japanese battle going on. You guys can see it now. We head on to lap 19. Not much happened after this whole sequence, guys. And you guys can see my right front is at 70%. Oh, jeez Louise. I thought Jeff was going to talk in the next moment. The car just absolutely steps out on me. The left front on 69. It is absolutely insane.
Be careful. The tires have deteriorated significantly at this point.
Jeff, I think I just realized that going under the Yaz Hotel. You guys can see Marcus Armstrong has checked out. He is 8 seconds ahead, and basically all I'm trying to do is trying to actually have my redemption be a dream story. P2, I did it, guys. I thought P7, maybe P6. Wow, how did I catch that? You guys can see that I'm really pushing hard. I mean, I had the tank slapper when I was battling with Ilott, and that was just very unexpected. I didn't expect the car to step up because I took the corner like I take the corner every single lap, and the rears just didn't hang on. I understeered with the fronts, and I turned in, I think, a little bit more aggressively than usual, but I didn't apply any power. The rear just decided it was going to go. So that was very awkward. I'm lucky to have caught that. But now, for these final few laps, we now start the final lap with Marcus Armstrong. I'm going to be under severe pressure from Giuliano Alesi, Marcus Armstrong, and Robert Schwartzman. Actually, Schwartzman, not Armstrong, Lundgaard. Schwartzman overtook Lundgaard. Schwartzman is ahead of the ART. So ART were looking good for a 1-2 for this race if Lundgaard was able to overtake Alesi. But thanks to me sticking my finger in the pie, now I'm in P2, Alesi's P3, and Schwartzman has even gotten the move done on Lundgaard. So Lundgaard is down to P5. So the dream sprint race result for ART has now vanished, but they're still going to have a very good time with Armstrong in the lead. And guys, as we are on the final lap, look at my tires, guys. The two fronts are screaming in agony. They are actually starting to blister. Look on the tires. They've got like a little line in the center of them where they are starting to blister. We are on 76% on the left front, 77% on the right front, and the rears are not worth much. 57 on the left rear, 58 on the right rear. I am literally driving on on mercy at this stage. It is insane. Guys, at this stage, I was literally praying this entire lap through just that the car would not get a puncture. Because I don't have the best history with punctures. If you guys look back at my season 2 career mode with Ferrari at the Dutch Grand Prix, I literally got a puncture coming out of the final corner, and the tires just touched 65%. So at this stage, I knew anything from 70 and up, you are within a high risk of a puncture. You are within puncture territory. So Literally, just one tweak of one turn in too harshly, and the tires would just say kaput. So now you guys can see, Marcus Armstrong drove a brilliant race, just kept his nose clean and kept extending his lead. But by some miracle, we are going to have the best redemption story possible as we come home in P2 from P12 on the grid for the sprint race. Yes, man!
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Victory for ART then, after a quality performance. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
An amazing race today, and a very well-deserved one too. The team worked very hard to get exactly the right setup out of the F2 car. It works for them, and the results speak for themselves. ART GP winners today. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Lots of drivers impressed me today, Alex. But if I have to say one that impressed me most, it's Nobuharu Matsushita.
Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling installment when Formula 2 returns.
Guys, what a redemption story. If you want a redemption story for a race weekend, after having so much bad luck in the feature race, this is the perfect way. I'm not even salty that I didn't get the win, no matter how competitive I am so glad that I got P2 because I actually defended my championship lead quite good there. Marcus Armstrong, who won the sprint race, is now P2 in the championship, ahead of Dan Ticktum in P3, who is on level points with Markelov and Schwartzman. So guys, at this stage, we've got 5 drivers. Even if Jack Aitken pulls up his socks, as well as Callum Eilert. Remember guys, we've still got 12 rounds to go, a total of 24 races and 12 quali sessions where there's 4 points up for grabs if you get pole position in qualifying. So that's insane. There are still, I'm not going to make the sum now. I'll have the sum ready for you guys with the next episode, the next round, the round 4, where I'm not telling you where we're heading because it needs to be a surprise. You guys saw that I blurred out the name there with the championship standing screen. There are still 12 opportunities to get 4 points for pole position in quali. 12 opportunities to get 25 points for the sprint, for the feature race win, and 12 opportunities to get 15 points with the sprint race win. There are still hundreds and hundreds of points up for grabs this season. This season is still long over. Literally anybody can still win this season. I mean, let's take Roy Nassani. If he has a fantastic race and he just decides, I'm going to be a winner now, and he can win this championship, anybody can still win. It is still way too early to call anything, but the championship is now heated up because now you guys can see even I have faults in my system and even I can make big mistakes. But guys, that has been this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't done it yet, drop a like down below on the video, and please, from my side, not please, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to go check out the links in the description down below. If you want to share this video or my channel with your friends, please do. Tag me in the post or the story and I will give you a shout out in a future video as well as on my social medias. And guys, if this is your first time viewing Turbo Fox races and you're not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode here on Turbo Fox Races. Guys, beautiful redemption story. It's been fantastic. And now we head towards the next round, which is one of my favorite tracks on the F1 calendar, and it's gonna be a good one. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all with the next video, whichever game we play. Cheers!